everyone, I'm Roshni and welcome to Medical Dialogues, daily dose of health and medical news. Here are today's top news from the health world. Medicine delivery by drones to be piloted in 16 green zones in Telangana, says Scindia. Union Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia on Saturday said medicines from the Sky project, under which drugs and vaccines are delivered using drones, will be taken up on a pilot basis in 16 green zones in Telangana and scaled up to the national level based on data. Launching medicines from the Sky project, Scindia said that the new drone policy brought out by the NDA government and the medal of late facilitated rules in regards to ramble activities in the country by reducing the quantity of structure that should be filled to work from 25 to 5 and reducing the kind of fee charge from the operator from 72 to 4. Rice with zinc, wheat with protein to fight malnutrition. Rice having excess zinc and wheat enriched with protein and iron are among 17 new bio-fortified varieties of crops that have been developed and released for cultivation. These new varieties of 16 different crops seek to reduce malnutrition as their source of staple diet rich in micronutrients, Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar said on Sunday. Developed by institutions under the Indian Council of Agriculture Research, these are 1.5 to 3 times more nutritious than the traditional varieties. India's weekly COVID-19 cases dropped 15%, lowest in 6 months. India recorded a 15% drop in fresh COVID-19 cases deducted in the week ending Sunday, the lowest weekly count in more than 6 months, with Kerala numbers declining by a steep 21%. This was the second consecutive week of a substantial decline in COVID numbers. Last week, cases in the country had seen a 13% drop, while in the previous 7 days, numbers were mainly flat with a drop of just 0.6%. The new UK travel advisory. New travel advisory by the United Kingdom, which says people from India and a couple of different nations will be considered unvaccinated even after 2 dosages of AstraZeneca's Covishield, has re-established controversy over opportunity of worldwide travel during the pandemic. Congress MP Shashi Tharoor said he had dropped numerous commitments in light of the guidelines, which were reported by the UK government on Friday and will happen on 4th October. It was offensive to ask fully vaccinated Indians to quarantine. Give info on vax policy for disabled, Supreme Court to government. The Supreme Court on Monday asked the centre to provide details of its policy framework and steps taken to prioritize COVID vaccination of persons with disability and the scientific study carried out to determine the safety protocol for inclusion of pregnant women. The bench issued notice to the centre and sought its reply affidavit in 2 weeks detailing the steps taken to vaccinate over 2 crore persons with disability and requested Solicitor General Tushar Mehta to remain present to assist the court in dealing with the issue with compassion. That's all from the health world today. Let's look at the top medical news.
Hello everyone, I am Dr. Nandita and today let me show you the latest observations in the world of medicine. Gut microbiome may influence the ability to lose weight. If your gut feeling tells you about your weight issues, then do not neglect it. It might be true. A question whether or not the ecological composition of the gut microbiome may casually affect the weight loss remains somewhat controversial. A recent study has found that the bacteria that helps in the absorption of nutrients in the intestines as well as accelerates the food digestion process may have an influence on one's ability to lose weight. A cohort of 105 individuals was selected and enrolled in a commercial wellness program which included healthy lifestyle coaching. Baseline blood, stool, and dietary features associated with weight loss independent of age, sex, and baseline body mass index were the parameters that were assessed. The results of the study suggested that the microbiota may influence the host weight loss responses through variable bacterial growth rates, dietary energy harvest efficiency, and immunomodulation. Exposure to antibiotics linked to increased colon cancer risk. Antibiotics are very commonly prescribed in our country, be it for a condition as mild as throat pain, cough, or even common cold. But has it occurred to you that there could be a link between antibiotics exposure and an increased colon cancer risk? A research conducted at the Johns Hopkins Kimmel Cancer Center confirms that taking even a single course of antibiotics might boost the risk of developing colon cancer. The researchers found 28,890 cases of colorectal cancer and used their medical records to identify and evaluate each case history for risk factors including history of obesity, smoking, alcohol use, diabetes, as well as antibiotic use. It was found that 71.3% developed colon cancer after being exposed to antibiotics. Hence, the researchers said that there was a rapid onset of increased colon cancer risk beginning with only 15 to 30 days of total antibiotic exposure. Premature menopause is associated with increased atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease risk. Premature menopause is a term quite frequently added as a risk factor for various cardiovascular diseases, especially in females, but it may not carry as much weight as the traditional risk factors. Until recently, a cohort study highlighted that premature menopause can serve as a marker or warning sign that cardiologists should pay closer attention to traditional atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease risk factors. The cohort study included women from 7 US population-based cohorts, and it was found that 17.4% black women had almost twice the rate of premature menopause than white women. It was also found that premature menopause was significantly linked with atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease in both populations independent of a traditional risk factor. A 24% greater height risk of black women and 28% greater risk for white women. Therefore, cardiologists should consider premature menopause as an important marker for cardiovascular disease diagnosis. Texting boosts the quality of life in patients with heart failure and diabetes. Texting is the in thing these days with WhatsApp, Facebook messengers. It's not just the youth, but the older generation is getting the hang of it. It has been found that regular personalized text messages and adherence to their medications has led to a substantial increase in the quality of life in patients with heart failure and diabetes, a study confirms. A randomized trial with 187 patients diagnosed with heart failure and diabetes were included in the analysis. Researchers randomized the patients to an intervention of thrice weekly text messages that gave them personalized feedback on their recent activity and adherence and updated activity and adherence goals, and into a control group that only received a weekly once generic message activity. After 3 months, patients in the intervention arm had an average incremental gain of 313 steps per day from baseline, indicating a quite large increase in the quality of life. Hence, it was concluded that texting boosts the quality of life in patients with heart failure and diabetes. A visual disorder called lazy eye prevalent in socio-economic status groups. Looking into the future is what everyone keeps asking. Lazy eye is a childhood condition where the vision does not develop properly because one or both eyes are unable to bring a strong link to the brain. A new study has found a link between this condition as well as the socio-economic status, the condition commonly known as amblyopia. Families of immigrants and those of ultra-orthodox religion being less likely to bring their children in for regular vision screenings or follow through with treatment plans, thereby causing this condition to occur among the poor. The analysis showed that the prevalence of lazy eye was double among young men who grew up in ultra-orthodox settings compared to those raised in secular communities. According to the study, it is estimated that between 1 and 5% of children worldwide have lazy eye.
Never miss a medical update from Medical Dialogues. Like, subscribe, and press the bell icon.